What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. We're back in Rugby 25. Today they've come out with their second patch for the game over on Early Access. Now, I didn't do a video covering the first update because I did play the update and thought about doing a video, but there really wasn't enough to dive into for it to me to feel like it would be a whole video's worth. Update 2 feels like it's bringing a lot new things to the game, so we can sort of cover Update 1 and 2. We'll go over what's included in the update, then we'll go on, we'll play a game, we're going to try and test to see if the update is true, like what we see in the actual bug reports. We'll see if everything has been fixed that they say has been fixed. We're not aiming for a 50-0 game, we're going to be testing all the things, so if you want to jump to the game, I'll put a timestamp on screen, and then at the end of the game, we'll give overall thoughts and how it's actually got on with the development so far. But taking a look at the updates as it stands. Now, in update number 1, they did do some changes to the game. They improved the tackling effectiveness. I didn't notice that much tackle effectiveness. The B button got a little bit more consistent. The analog stick was still not great. The improved passing trajectory. I didn't notice a great deal of the passing trajectory feel better. Improved ruck join speed. I definitely felt like they were joining the ruck quicker. They corrected mislabeled controls, like including the side camera option is now called side camera. Well done to those guys for doing that, because that is such a simple fix that just makes quality of life much better. And they've included some omitted controls for B. I did notice that all worked. The new custom competition mode saves the correct 4 points for a win, so some people will complain about the point system. Adjusted the nighttime match start. I did see Sammy playing on a live stream, and the nighttime match was just like he played in like a volcano eruption. They're now in nighttime, and the nighttime looks a lot better. And then the general stability and stuff is going to be in every single update. But for this one, Minor Update 2, what have we got to look forward to in today's video? In-play kicks have been adjusted along with the tuning of trajectories across all kick types, and there is now a dedicated button, A, as the implemented for up and under kicks. Now, I like the idea that they've changed the trajectory thing. Hopefully that means the graphic on screen. They've added a separate button for up and unders versus punting, which is one of the biggest things I said in my feedback. I don't know why they've put the up and unders on A. That's just feels like the wrong way around. Up and unders are X in like every rugby game, and then A is punt. Swap those buttons around. We'll test out today and see how it feels, but I would really like to see those buttons swap round. Improved offloads. Standard pass buttons may be used to offload in early stages of a tackle. Note that offloads are more likely than standard passes to deviate from their target. This is an area which we're hoping to get feedback on. Okay, so we'll look for the offload stuff. The offloading is really just not a thing as the game was at its current state. Improved scrum half ruck speed to join the rucks. That was an issue in their minor patch 1. Rucks changed completely, and it took an age to get the scrum half into the ruck, so looking forward to see how that's changed. Corrected rule implementation. Some rules not implemented correctly. We'll see if that means about the offside rule coming in. Included the positioning of a line out after free kicks to touch, and then defensive touchdowns are treated correctly. Okay. The logic for selecting a pass target when tapping LB/RB has been adjusted to avoid the small percentage of scenarios where the ball would be passed well forward to a teammate out of the ruck. Yeah, I did have that one happen to me, and then again, more stability issues. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into a game. We're going to test out those things. As there have been any, I've seen some other things about people putting screenshots up. Like right now, you can see the South African player. His face looks different. And I think they've done a couple of things to do with like model rework. Like I feel like there actually is different looking models now for some of the players, which is nice. I'm trying to pay a lot of attention to like facial features, like the nose on a couple of these players looks different. The actual chin looks different on them, so that's nice to see. Let's go as a big team, because I'm not about wanting to dominate the point scheme in this game. I just want to test all the things, so we'll chuck it on. I never like putting on easy. I like playing on hard as it is, but I want to test the things. It's not about showing off brilliant gameplay and winning by 50-0. I want to test to see how these new things have been implemented. So let's jump in. Springboks versus Spain should be an easy game to test. So a couple of things we want to check out. We're going to check out the up and unders. We want to check out the offloading. Passively, we will see about the scrum half and the ruck speed. Let's see what Spain want to get us kicked off with. Now, I have put a bit more time into this game to try and get a little bit better. So let's first of all test the up and unders with A. That is certainly an up and under. It's very far. I might have to get to grips a little bit with how far I'm wanting to time that hit, but there is now a dedicated button on A for the up and unders, which is nice. Let's see if we can get a turnover in here. Now, turnovers, I've been getting a little bit more understanding about how the turnovers work. Again, there is a label misrepresentation in this about pressing Y to do the tackler contest, and it just isn't. It is X. I think that's another button they need to look at because there is a thing wrong there. X is the button that works. Y just seems to shift which player you are selecting. What are we looking at in terms of the scrum half time to get to the ball? It's looking like the scrum half is getting pretty quick. Let me hold offside and see if it gives me a penalty. Looks like there was no penalty there for me running offside. Oh, and we've had a game crash. Well, so much for stability. Okay, let's try it again. So I have worked out as well you can also do a lot more adjustments with this. Like you can kick that really far, but you can also drag it back in, which I kind of like with the kickoff. I'm glad that is. I thought originally it was a whole issue with the. I still don't quite gauge that red bar and what I'm doing with being able to take that as a high ball. But I do like that you can move now your kicking trajectory and stuff. Oh, that's a great break through the line there, and we're away. We're already off to a superb start. What a great break by that guy. Yeah, I haven't quite worked out what's going on with the up and under. There's a whole red bar on the base, and then it sort of... Sometimes your players get in the air. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that still. But we need to check out a couple of things. We didn't get to check out any there. That is like phase 1 play. We did manage to get away there. Now, I've done a bit more practicing with the passing mechanics. And low-key, I think they have got a really interesting, intricate pass system that might be one of the best we've ever seen in a rugby game. It just takes a lot of time to get used to. And I also think the controller layout is very, very awkward for it. So my controller has paddles on the back. And a lot of the passing is to do with this thing where you can select your pass. And when you utilize this correctly, you can actually get some really nice plays with the ball. You just have to be able to make those choices and who you think should get the ball. And you can actually get really nice running attack lines like that. Now I'm going to try and get back over and support him. I've had another crash. Oh my goodness, what are they on about with stability improvements? So in the off chance that it's a team-based issue, I'm going to swap out. We're going to play Chile this time. And we're going to see if that can make anything better. We're swapping the stadium. I'm going to try and see if I can get this game to work because I don't know what is going on. So this is the scrum half thing. I feel like scrum halves are getting there quicker, which is nice. It would maybe be nice to see the scrum half actually move with the ruck, you know, going from ruck to ruck. I'm still not sure if they've added the roles into the game yet, like they said about actually having dedicated scrum halves at the minute. I still feel like it's whoever is available just slots in at the scrum half. I don't think they've actually added that in yet. Let's see if we can try and get a turnover. The tackling has been pretty good so far. I want to test the analog stick tackle as well. That's something I haven't actually tested. Oh no, maybe they're going to go for a decent clearance kick. So as I was trying to say in the last game about the passing mechanics, if you can hold down the pass, you can find some really nice like choice passes. And I actually think they could maybe get away with replacing set plays with them. It's just the way it works on the analog. So even now that I haven't got the prompts on screen, you can still use them. You can still use the choice passes, and you've just got to get used to who you want to pass to. A is your closest player, Y is a deep player, B is second player across, then X is long. And you can actually kind of use that to your advantage. It takes a lot of muscle memory to eventually get used to. I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to A. And then we're going to go across here. We're going to try and get this one wide out to this guy. Let's see if we get a little sidestep on the go. Oh, we do. We get a nice little breakaway. Who's with him? My player has been deselected from me. That's nice to know. I didn't know that was a thing that could be added into the game. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try and go out the back here. And we're going to just try and go through some of these passes. Here we go. One more here. And then we'll go an A again. Can we get an offload? Can't get an offload. I'm yet to get... In fact, let's just do normal passing. Let's do normal passing and see if we can get an offload away here. Another one. I don't seem to have got an offload away. I am going to test for this because I want to see if this is true. I mean, you can get like a late pass in there. Oh, it's a nice little run around the side there. But I am noticing the scrum half speed has improved a lot. Let me just try and go for a wider outplay here. See, like I think this can work quite well if you get your choice of passes correctly and you can line up easily. But I definitely feel like you need to have a... let me see if we can slide down that inside. Oh, nearly got there. But you definitely need to have paddles on the back of your controller. Otherwise, when you're pressing the pass button, you can't press the sprint button, which really doesn't work very much. Oh, we actually stole a line out. Incredible. I don't know if I've ever stolen a line out in this game. They are very, very fast in the line out to gauge what is going on. Let's see if we can try and get around the back here. They've still got these loopy passes. I do think that's something they need to take a look at. There's no option yet to put someone back in the pocket. Let's just try and drop this one back. It's very hard to know how you can get away with using a kick in this game. Let me just try and drop this one back. Let's go for an A. Big up and under. I mean, it's nice now that we've got like a dedicated up and under. It does feel very... Oh, we got a turnover there. That's nice to see. There definitely have been more turnovers coming in. It does feel pretty tricky to actually get the kick away to a way that feels useful, because it's really hard to find the space for a player to actually take the kick. So this time we're going to go for X, and we're going to try and get a long kick there. And it's just kind of a shallow kick. I still think the kicking requires some work for me. We haven't seen anything about the correct rule implementations. I mean, I'm running offside here. It doesn't look like they've added in the rule for offside as of yet. We can test for the idea of like the free kicks and the scrum. Luckily, this has got some better ability to hold up. Look at my guy. What's he doing? I can do wiggly arms. Hang on, I've only just noticed this. What can I do here? Why can I do like a dance? Hold up. Hold on, what's going on? I have no idea what this is, but you can make him do a little dancing. What a weird thing you can add into this game. Macarena. I like that you can make it do a dance. I don't know if that's what they want added into the game. I'm probably messing about with some stuff there. So you can make players do a dance in the background by tapping X. Good to know. Yeah, let's do a dance. Fantastic. Well, that's not what we're doing, Mad Dragon. We're not meant to be looking at that today. Let's see if we get a turnover and test some more things. Okay, well, my guy missed the analog stick tackle, and that time I was able to follow up with another tackle. In the old patch, that made the player, like, invincible, and he could just keep running forever and you couldn't tackle him, so it looks like that might have been patched. We can test for that again. I really want to try and showcase this passing thing, because I was doing some the other night, and it can look really good when you are able to actually get them to work well like that. Like, you can actually get the passing mechanic to work really well and set up some quite nice manual set plays, I almost want to call them. If you just understand the choice of passes and where you're going, and you can try and hit a really flat line like that. I think this is a good passing system. I just think lots and lots of people are going to struggle to make the most of it, because it requires you to be able to hold down the pass button constantly. And unless you have paddles on your controller, I really don't know how you're going to get away from it. Let's try and go wide here. I got this guy with him. Yep, let's go for one more pass. Try and get down this wing. Well, I don't know why my prop is constantly on the wing. I can't wait for them to add rolls in so that people stay in the area where they want to. But that's half time. We haven't crashed this time, at least, so maybe that's some stability. Maybe there's an issue with Spain. Don't know what's going on with Spain. It seems to just crash the game. They'll need to fine-tune this up and under a bit, because it feels pretty tricky to actually be of use. Let me just try and go down there for an up and under. Like, my players seem to actually slow down to get to the ball on an up and under, which kind of defeats the point of an up and under. You want to go high and have someone run onto the ball. But your guy, even that, I went really shallow on the up and under, and my guy still didn't get to the ball in time, which is kind of weird. It is also weird about this. The player selection choice is still a little bit off. Like, oh, that's a nice little scrag there. Can we get the turnover on that? No, it doesn't look like we can get the push through. I seem to be noticing that you can only really get turnovers when you are the player making the tackle. If the AI is the one that makes the tackle, it seems to be no option to be able to get the turnover. Wow, nobody wants to... Nobody wanted... What on earth went on there? There are still some issues around kicking towards the touch lines, with the ball wanting to stay in, and also the... Oh, we got another good steal though at the line out, so that's nice. I tried the offload again there. It doesn't work. I've not noticed anything to do with the offloading at the minute. Leaving him to die. Right, let's see if we can go out wide here. That's going to be a B pass. There we go. And suddenly we're shifting out wide. I really think there's... Oh, where did that guy come from? Through the shadows. Right, I'm going to try and test who's going to be in range. I'm going to redo. There we go. Go for Y. Pass back inside. Run under the post. There is a legitimate thing to be said about this passing mechanic. With holding down the pass buttons, you can also let go of the pass button if you've been holding it down. You won't pass manually, and then you can reselect new players on the buttons. I really like it. It's going to take a long time for a lot of people to get used to, and I think you need a controller that's built for it. But I genuinely think it's a really interesting new passing mechanic. that I think adds a lot to the game. And I would be interested to see what they're going to do with set plays, because it kind of removes the need for a lot of the set plays, because you can manually do it. Not too great if you want to run loops. Maybe like some dummy switches. Doesn't really work there. But just in general, running play, I think it's quite nice. Right, let's try and just drop this one back. I want to test the kicking trajectory. I still don't feel like that kick works well enough. Let me just take that one down. Let me test out the box kicking trajectory. So I'm going to try and go here. We're beyond the halfway line. Let's see if we can go for a 50-22. I'm going to try and get the trajectory that way. It's not a great kick. And my guy actually might get onto the end of this. That's what an incredible pickup. Of course, we're playing on the easiest difficulty. It doesn't really count. Didn't get a great deal of distance on that box kick, though. The trajectory felt like it was going the right way. But in terms of the distance from a box kick, I don't know how far he kicked that then. About 10 meters, maybe, if that. I would kind of like the idea for the box kick to be... I might test box kicking with going short and going long, but because there's no trajectory, like with the other kicking, like with the kickoff, you can hold down Y for as long as you want, and you manually choose a placement. With the box kicking and the other kicking, you just have the circle, and once you hit full power, he just kicks it. So you can't really decide. Let me just try and run this back in. I want to test this again. What I would like to do is go for a short, high box kick. So I'm going to hold down Y and move the analog stick back towards myself to see if I can make it go higher and shorter. No, didn't seem to make any difference. So unlike with the actual kicking towards post and the kickoff, where you get to choose the trajectory, it still feels out of my control as a player. I still feel like I don't really have a lot of choice about what's going on. I would like it to have the trajectory line showing me where I'm kicking it so I can work out how to move my players afterwards. I still think that's, something to work on. I'm not a big fan of this circle that's just on the ground for them all. As my guy just dives across the ground there. Analog stick tackles are still missing wildly, unfortunately. But we did have some nice animations for the ones that did work. That time, we got a good scrag. Let's see if we can get a turnover here. That's a turnover. Being able to get a tackle with your own man seems to allow you to actually get involved with a turnover. I'm glad there seems to be a better ability to get turnovers now. Because it was... Okay, that's how I went for a pass, and I actually ended up kicking the ball. I don't really know what happened there. Let's go for a cheeky little chip over the top. Nice, and here we go. We're going to go cross-field kick. Okay, so you also get the red graphic to do with an up and under to show that you're going to catch it. So it's not to do with being contestable. It's just that your player's going to jump in the air. I'm still not quite sure about that. I have no idea what's going on with that. And I've played a lot of rugby games. I still don't know what that graphic means from a good number of hours of play now. Being able to judge, do I have to press a button to jump? Do they jump automatically? Does it matter if the bar is red or white? I don't know. I don't feel like, again, I have a lot of input on that as the player. I'd maybe like to see that change. I wasn't a big fan of what they had in Rugby 22, where it was the quick time event. I much preferred what was in like Rugby 2011, where you just manually press X and your player would jump, and it was up to you to get that timing right. Otherwise, it would go real wrong real quick. Let's see if we can hit that hole. Bang! Through the middle it goes. We're going to go one more out wide. There we go. I really think this passing mechanic has got a lot going on. We're going to just re-switch there. We'll go for a Y. I've still got someone with me. Pass back inside. And another thing. I think the passing mechanic's got a lot to go on with. I think you can do a lot. It needs refining. Players are still too deep on the run. I personally really like that I get to choose the player now. And I'm kind of glad that I've had a game here where I can sort of showcase what I mean by talking about the passing mechanics. It's very hard to write down if any of you guys are involved with the Discord. We'll seal that one over. Very quickly, I want to test the rule implementation about a defensive touchdown and line out after a free kick. Let me see if I can test this a bit, because I want to know what goes on. I want to try and see if I can finish off with the clock going red and me being stuck behind my own defensive line, which should just be game over. It should be a free kick. And see if they've worked out that rule implementation, because it was an issue for the game where a free kick wouldn't end the game, where really it should do. Let's see if that's what they mean by the... Oh, steady, turn around. Okay, we're down. There's our 80 minutes. I didn't hear the siren that time. I kind of like the siren. A lot of people didn't like the siren. Oh, there's the siren. I have to wait for the ball to be live. Right, tackle me here, please, boys. Thank you. Right, so I passed that back. I passed that behind my own try line, and it's my drop out from the try line And time is also over. So rule implementation, maybe that's just not the rules they're on about. I don't think that's particularly complete yet with the rule implementation for me. Let's go for a nice little high ball. Again, this static camera off the kickoff, I have no idea where my players are. I don't know what's going on. We'll just sort of take this one down, because I'd like to just sort of end the game and give my sort of overall thoughts. The scrum half is definitely better. The scrum half definitely will get there quicker. The analog stick tackles have been working, and there's another nice turnover. So the analog stick tackles have been improved, which is I'm glad to see. And the scrum half getting in sooner is nicer as well. I see we get a little pass out wide there. I got this guy back on my inside. Oh, nearly got there. Number 5 with a nice interception. I can't get that back. I definitely think there is... Oh, I've got 2 players just running offside here. Oh, and have we had a final... We've had a final issue where the ball is gone. Now, again, ball stuck in a ruck. That should be a free kick. It's unplayable. And we're going off to a scrum. We're still in the red. The game should have ended. So I don't think I agree necessarily that they've sorted out those rule things. Maybe that's just not the rules they mean. And maybe I'm being too harsh, but I would expect, you know, rules like that to be sorted out pretty quickly. Let's see if I can just get a little breakaway here. Oh, look at that by the number 8. Little sidestep. Let's seal it out with one final try. In fact, one thing I want to check, just right at the end of the game, it's just dawned on me. Are the players still in a big ball at the end of the pitch? Let's find out. Let me zoom out. They are no longer in a big ball. The players used to be stuck in a big ball around the halfway line when you set up the kickback here. They've removed all the player models. And they also have got rid of the player model that used to just stand by the 22. I think I didn't notice it then, actually. Well, this is an awful camera angle. Ref? Can you please move out of the way? Hopefully I can still get this over because kicking is immensely easy in this game. We'll zoom in on this guy's hairline. Okay, so they got rid of the player models on the halfway line, but now the referees are on the halfway line. So something, again, might need to be looked at there. That's not the greatest camera angle in the world. Anything different in terms of these animations? I think we're still going to go over. They still got all the crowd. Some of the crowd no longer have baseball caps on. Bit of a change there. They've definitely changed some of the player models as well to look slightly different. Maybe I've just not seen all the animations for the end. Nothing else going on here. Still no team management. You can still check out the highlights and what have you. There he is. Power running. Power running over there. Beautiful try. I don't know why that guy jumped. That was a great jump by him. So what do we think on the whole then, guys? They've done update 2 now. What do we think of it? Now, I've spent a lot more time with the game. I really think the passing mechanic has got a lot going on. The choice of you choosing each player on every single pass. I think if you get a lot more talented at the game and you can utilize that properly, I think that's going to be a big deciding factor between who does well in online play and who doesn't. I think that's an actual skill level issue that will separate people out, which I kind of like that. It's not quite as arcadey, it's not quite as easy. It will be interesting to see how that compares to set plays being added into the game. In terms of the update that they've added in, so improved kicking. Have we noticed improved trajectories across all kicks? I can't particularly say I noticed a vast improvement in any sort of trajectories. I still feel like I don't really know where box kicks are going. That's not true. I know where they're going. I just feel like I, as the player, can't control them. Same to sort of go with the punt. Some of them fell really short and didn't really get anywhere, and it's hard to work out if they're being charged down or not. They have added a separate button in for up and unders compared to punt. That is a good move. I think that's a positive thing to add into this game. But I don't like it being on A. I think that needs to be swapped around. X should be up and under, A should be kicking. That's just how it is in rugby games. I don't know why this game needs to be different, because I think it actually makes it feel more clunky. You're basically fighting your own muscle memory from other games, and it feels unnecessary to do. It's like, imagine if you made like a racing game where suddenly, you know, the D-pad right arrow is drive forward. It's like, you don't need to be the change. You know, just do what every other rugby game has done, because players will understand it a lot better. Improved offloads. I don't think I got a single offload off in that game. So I can't say I noticed any difference to do with the offloading. I tried the passing thing. I tried to do quick passes. I tried to do the choice passes. I couldn't get a single offload to go there. Anything to me that looked like an offload as opposed to just passing earlier. Improved scrum half ruck speed join. Yes, that is absolutely in the game. I'm glad that's happened. That feels like it sped up the game a lot more. Corrected rule implementation. Correction of some rules not implemented correctly. I can't say I noticed any. Maybe I've just found the wrong issues. Offside is still not in the game. We didn't have any knock-ons. Knock-ons are still really hard to do in this game. I ran over my own dead ball line and got given a dropout from behind my own try line. It happened in the 80th minute. The game wasn't over. We also had a ball stuck in the ruck, which is a free kick after the 80th minute. That wasn't game over. So unless I've just missed all of the exact penalties they've changed and their implementation, I didn't find a single one of them actually work. Corrected unintentional forward passes. I don't think I had a single forward pass in that game. So, you know, you could say that worked. I didn't have a single one that came from the back of a ruck. So we definitely know that worked well. Stability improvements. I had 2 crashes. I think I've only had 1 crash before this update. So, again, I think I would argue there, maybe not. The general overall, the improved tackling and improved passing, I think is there. I think the analog stick worked. I even missed an analog stick tackle and they got rid of that glitch where people become invincible. Great. I'm really happy about that. Improved passing, I think, is there. Improve the ruck speed, joining the ruck speed. You can definitely get players into the ruck speed a lot. And something that I didn't really talk about a lot in that game was the turnover amounts. I definitely feel like I'm turning the game over more. Like being able to very quickly get B, rush your players in because of that increased speed and then pressing X. The label is still wrong. It isn't Y. Anyone playing this game is pressing Y to do a turnover. Don't. It's X. Just the label in the game is wrong. They've changed some of the player models, which is nice. I'm glad they got rid of the player kicking from the tee because it looked weird when they just sort of stood there. I'm glad they got rid of the ball of players stuck at the halfway line. I still think I would like to see, as I'm lining up the tee, their players already behind the post. They could even be in a little huddle behind the post. You know, they just conceded a try. But I'm glad my player's no longer there. We did have that issue with the cameraman, with the referee stood in front of your camera and you just can't see what's going on. That's the first time I've ever had that, so that must be something to do with this patch. Hopefully that's not going to be a continuous thing. We didn't check out the nighttime thing from patch 1, but I already know that does work and what have you. So overall, some things good, some things, I mean, nothing's bad. The stability is the only thing I would probably say that was bad. I had 2 crashes in that gameplay then, but nothing got worse anywhere else. I haven't noticed anything become poor. I just don't believe some of the things that were in the fixes. I didn't notice any of them happen in my game on some of the occasions, and I do think they want to change the kicking mechanic buttons just the other way around. Give me punt on A. That's all I want as a player. But let me know down in the comment section, guys, what do you think of the update if you played it yourself? If this is the only way you can watch it because you're waiting for it to come out on console, what do you think about those improvements from when we did it in the live show? If you've seen other people playing the game, do you think this is making improvements? Are they heading in the right direction? I certainly think they are, and the more time I'm spending with the game, I'm kind of beginning to see a bit more of what they want to do with the game. Unfortunately for me, it's still probably going to be a good chunk away, but I'm glad we've got the roadmap now. I'm glad we get to see where this game is slowly going to progress to. I hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.